Welcome everybody, I am finally back home with my recording microphone and stuff. Everything was unplugged, so I had to set the drivers up again. Hopefully they're going to work. I've got a massive backlog of about 12 of these to do, which represents about 12 plus hours of work I'm trying to get through. This is a catch-up match between Lorenzo Somma and Dylan Magika, still using the old cards before the rotation, so one of our last chances to see some of these cards. You can see the points there between Dylan and Lorenzo. Obviously that's a bit outdated now, but this was a very important match for Dylan to catch up. I don't really know what Dylan's playing. I think this is kind of a brew that he's got going. Lorenzo looks to be on the Ether Flux Reservoir combo, which is not really going to be a thing after rotation, obviously, because there's no Ether Flux Reservoir, and also a whole heap of the cheap artifacts have rotated out as well. So even if you wanted to do a build around with Psi Master Thopterist, which is really a different deck, it's not, and here's Psi now just as I talk about him, it's not going to work. Dylan's going to have the option next turn to use Cast Out. It'd be interesting to see what he's going to do it on, because there's two options here. Inspiring Statuary or Psi. He's going to go for Psi first, just to make sure this board doesn't get out of control. Inspiring Statuary is one of the key cards in this deck as well. I'm going to apologise in advance if this is too loud. Because I got so much work to do, I haven't had a chance to play around with the settings properly, so it might be too loud. Okay, there's a Teferi, so we can see here that he's struggling for blue mana. 3 Zalpharan Voids, and he's going to concede. He had to take down the Ether Flux Reservoir. Lorenzo could protect it with Paradoxical Outcome and just replay it next turn, and it's pretty hopeless from there. This was a match that Dylan really needed to win if he was to have any chance. He very publicly stated that his goal is to take out the entire tournament. The Grand Champion is his goal. I think he was third. Okay, so Aetherflux Reservoir will still accumulate. He's named Aetherflux Reservoir with Sorcerer's Spyglass. It will still accumulate life, but he cannot actually do the 50 points damage. So he's on to Psi Master Thopterist, unless he has a bounce spell. I think Commit to Memory might work here. Yeah, so Dylan's goal was to win, so he's struggling here. Probably wildcard at this stage is what he's looking at. The big difference between wildcard and qualifying is that if you qualify first, if you win the division like he did last time, you get a bye in the first round. Of course, Dylan made it all the way to the grand final. He's beaten by Julia Corbin in the final, playing some pretty interesting brews last time. And what's going to make the next final series really interesting... Okay, Blink of an Eye will bounce Sorcerer's Spyglass. What's going to make that really interesting is that finals is going to be with the new GRN cards. Yeah, GRN looks really interesting. I got an absolute spanking last night from Josh Grace. I haven't really looked at the cards, so I just net decked something, and he had the green-white Selesnya Tokens deck that's just super powerful. Bit out of my price range. I'm looking for a deck for GP New Jersey. I don't want to spend that much money, and I'm probably never going to play Standard after that. But I'll see what I can do. I might end up playing a brew. Lorenzo here's got 6 cards in hand. He's got 24 life. You can see Dylan just hanging out with that negate. He's 2, 4, 5. He'd want another land here so that he can play Khan and keep negate up. Because there's his land right there, so he's going to be able to do that this turn. He doesn't want a second Khan. Oh, he's going to go History of Benalia instead, so he's going the aggressive route. I think negate. I don't know where he's going to use it, because Aetherflux Reservoir is not going to be a game winner here, but it'll certainly still put Lorenzo out of reach in terms of life total. Like whether Dylan's deck, yeah, Dylan's going to counter that. whether Dylan's deck can keep up with the life gain, because Lorenzo can easily get to 50 life in a turn. Apologies, I'm still adjusting to the jet lag. By the way, Rob Goodwin has come on board as a Patreon contributor, so thanks very much for that, Rob. And of course, these two, Dylan and Lorenzo, are two of our longest supporting Patreons, and so hugely thankful for both of them. Dylan also manages and runs the group server. If anyone doesn't know that, updates and everything are generally handled by him. Will Escrow helps out, but I think the bulk of the heavy lifting is from Dylan. And Lorenzo, of course, is our lucky Patreon. He tends to win our raffle every single time. He just won another print in the John Avon print. So here's Commit to Memory. We'll see if he's going to bounce that Sorcerer's Spyglass. Oh, he's not going to actually play it, is he? You can see he's got a 6/6 construct from Khan. Dylan can actually kill the Khan this time. Oh no, he can't because of the Ornithopter. What's he going to do with Khan? He might be interested in getting back Gideon. Yeah, he's going to get back Gideon. So he can just stop that construct. So now he can kill the Khan because they're all 4/4s because the History of Benalia ticked up. So that construct, thanks to Gideon, cannot do any damage until the following turn. This Inspiring Stature, he counted it last time, but not this time. It just looks like he's just has a bit too much power on the board. Font of Renewal. So you can see Lorenzo's gaining 2 life a turn now, so this is going to be difficult to keep up with. Well, that could change pretty quickly. I'm just going to quickly look up Khan because I don't remember what his ultimate is. Oh, of course he doesn't have an ultimate. It's just create the token. So Lyra Dawnbringer here, you can see Lorenzo's at 19, so Lyra's obviously going to be a pretty quick clock. And here's Commit to Memory. Now this doesn't really work here because I think he's going to bounce the Lyra Dawnbringer. Wait, what did he do there? Oh no, he drew 7 cards, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, because this deck doesn't really play anything that can counter a creature spell, I believe. Metallic Rebuke is non-creature. Here's a negate, so he's pretty keen on protecting something here. But you consider an enormous 11/11 construct is doing nothing thanks to Gideon of the Trials, which is going to be rotating out. And now he's getting Inventor's Fair, so he's going to be clocking up 4 life a turn here. 2 Inspiring Statuary, so he's just got so many artifacts it's ridiculous, but nothing to actually win the game with. Yeah, Gideon of Trials is an excellent Planeswalker, but it's... Oh, here's a History of Benalia. This is going to be really good to pump those Knight tokens. It just never really kind of did much in Standard, and it's made appearances in Modern, but you kind of... I think it's going to be one of those cards that's going to come out in a few years' time. Not sure where at this stage. And yeah, Lorenzo had seen enough, so we're going to game 3 now. This is I guess it's a blue-white control deck from Dylan, but just with a bit of a different spin. History of Benalia has just skyrocketed in price recently. I think it's up to about $25. Wasting no time getting a ballista out. So Ornithopter, I believe, will be rotating. So he's going to have to play that irrigated farmland because next turn, because he needs the blue source for Jace's defeat. But awkwardly here, he's not going to... Oh, no third land drop. I was about to say he's not going to be able to counter a turn 4 Aetherflux Reservoir. But Lorenzo's missed his land drop, so the opportunity here is open for Dylan, and he's got 2 History Benalias. This is going to be... could be a pretty quick match. Lorenzo misses a land drop again. I think this one's over, particularly for Jace's defeat in a search for and a negate in hand. Here's a ton of damage. Lethal on board next turn. He can't find anything, so Dylan's going to take standard 2-1. As we move on to Modern, and this is a deck that Dylan has been playing for some time now. We've seen it the last few weeks. It's kind of a Jeskai control, playing Terminus. And Lorenzo, I think it's pretty traditional build for him, Tron. So this is going to be, I don't really know who's favourite here. I do play Jeskai control a fair bit in paper, and I always fancy myself against Tron. But at the same time, Tron, I don't know why that skipped, apologies. Tron has that inevitability as well. So I think we could be in for some pretty long games here. The cards like Terminus obviously are not fantastic, they'll probably come out. As you can see, Tron online here for Lorenzo. Now I was about to say, does he have a threat? Ancient Styrians will probably find one. We'll see what he gets with it. He gets Ulamog, so this one's going to be over quick smart. Yeah, Dylan's seen enough. We're going to game 2. Okay, Surgical Extraction. So this is we're playing a different game now. Oh, he's not going to keep it. Oh, there's a Field of Ruin, so he's on the play. That'll work. Field of Ruin doesn't work when you're on the draw because you're a turn behind, but no Tron piece for Lorenzo, so when Tron player plays a non-Tron land on turn 1, you know he's kept a bad hand. And when he doesn't play it on turn 2, you know he's in big trouble. So it kind of, yeah, I was going to say, it tells you that he's got all the pieces that he needs except for the lands. So he's prepared to play a slower game. The problem for the Jeskai player is that they don't have the closing speed to win this match very quickly. So what I mean by that is Dylan cannot punish Lorenzo for a slow start. So he's got his second Tron piece now, and he's going to crack that expedition map and find his third. Oh no, he's going to play an expedition map, sorry, but it gets negated. That's a nice timely negate there from Dylan. And now Field of Ruin. Now you saw he took the power plant, so Dylan is going to Field of Ruin that power plant because okay, you don't want to do the mine in case he's got a second mine in hand. Jace here to brainstorm, I guess. Yeah, because of the expedition map, you can't really target Lorenzo because he'll just crack the map and shuffle away whatever you put on top anyway. But Jace is a pretty good one here because it can go unchecked. Lorenzo's got the Oblivion Stone. It'll be a bit of a poor trade on his side. I think Dylan won't mind trading a Jace for an Oblivion Stone so that he can get more pressure on the board, particularly for a Vendilion Clique and a Snapcaster Mage there. I'm a bit surprised. Well, Lorenzo's... See, there's a second Jace. And I think he's going to shuffle away. What's he going to shuffle away? He's going to shuffle away that path, that lightning bolt. Two Tron pieces. Now this is a good... I like this play. He's going to crack now. I'm a bit surprised by that. I was about to say he's quietly accumulating his Tron pieces, getting towards Ulamog territory with no pressure on. But suddenly... Oh, now... He can't get the plant because there's already one in play. He needs to hit something that... Oh, Alpine Moon, and that's a nice sideboard card. So, but he plays Alpine Moon. He names a land, and that land just taps for basic. So he'll just name it any old Tron piece. He's going to name Urza's Tower, which is not in play yet. The one kind of semi-downside, which is not a factor in this game now with 3 forests, is that Alpine Moon enables the other player to tap for whatever mana they want. So you can see this Tron, but as long as Alpine Moon's in play, there won't be any Tron. Here's a Worm Coil, but Dylan's got the path in hand. Oblivion Stone is going to be excellent here. Unfortunately for Lorenzo, there is a Logic Knot sitting on the other side of the table. Worm Coil down, Path to Exile is an excellent clean answer there. I think he certainly wants the Cryptic. He's going to shuffle away. That's the second time he shuffled away Surgical. So now you can Cryptic command the Oblivion Stone. Oh, that complicates things. And he's still going to be able to counter it though, because whatever he takes a Cryptic, exiles a Cryptic, so he can Logic Knot the Oblivion Stone. I'm just going to count the mana very quickly. 1, 2, 3, 4. He's going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So he's going to use. He'll go to 10. So he's going to use 3. So he's got 7. So Dylan has to Logic Knot for 8 next turn. Uses that path again to get a card draw from Thought Knot Seer. Picks up a crappy Scolding Tarn. So search for Skanta flips, so Oblivion Stone's not going to take as a Skanta. As the Alpine Moon is what he's just has to be wary of here. Down to 9, 2 turn clock. What's he going after here? Oh, he's going to get the Oblivion Stone in the draw step. I like that. There's Ulamog, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So Ulamog can actually come down this turn, but it's going to get Logic Knotted, but it's still going to take 2 targets. I think you've got to take the Alpine Moon and maybe a Vendilion Click. He's got to stop these threats. And a trigger from Sanctum of Ugin. Well, he could actually let Ulamog resolve there and take that Path to Exile and keep his counterspell. He chose not to. He's found a second Ulamog. Alpine Moon down, so Tron online. So he has the Ulamog now. Now he can actually Surgical away that Ulamog. Just checking if he wants anything out of his grave first. Now we'll see it. Wait to the draw step. I think he's going to Surgical. Yep. So Ulamog is not a threat, and that should be the game. You can see there's still an Ancient Stirrings hanging out there, but he does have a Snapcaster to protect against that. I like this play here. He leads with Relic so he can shut off Snapcaster. Takes Cryptic, so now with 1 card left, there's no way that he can win. So he'll get the cantrip. But there's lethal on board, so we're about to go to game 3. Finds Ugin, but it's all too late. That'll get countered, and we're on to game 3. After Dylan took down Standard 2-1, he's a game away now from taking Modern. It's actually kind of interesting he's playing Field of Ruin in the Jeskai deck, because Blue-White plays it because his Tron online straight away for Lorenzo. Because Field of Ruin in the Blue-White can find plenty of basics because they play a lot of basics, but in Jeskai you don't play as many basics, so maybe Ghost Quarter. Cryptic Command down is a Braid. Now this is okay, so he's got the Field of Ruin here, protecting against Tron. Does it in the draw step though, so the floated mana won't work. But he has the Tron piece anyway. Yeah, Dylan says come on in the chat. There's Ugin, this one's over and we're going to Legacy. So Lorenzo strikes back to take down Modern 2-1. So far with Dylan at 2-1 and Lorenzo at 2-1, Dylan hasn't closed the gap at the top. And this is a deck that we've seen Dylan play for a couple of weeks now. It's Blue-Black Omni Show. Blue-Red they play for Sneak Attack. I'm not really sure why Dylan's playing the black. I'm sure there's a very good reason. I can't think of it off the top of my head. He might want access to Hand Disruption. And it looks like we've got an Omni mirror match here. But he's not going for anything this time. Here's a Show and Tell. Now this is super risky. And there's an Intuition, so there's going to be an Emrakul on the other side. He'll just find Emrakuls. I would have actually countered that if I was Dylan. Because I think he just loses now. Oh no, why does he play Omniscience? There's a Flusterstorm is going to counter. Yeah, and Dylan's going to concede. I think he got away with one there. I think Lorenzo... Oh no, sorry, because Emrakul has haste anyway. So, Lorenzo a game away now from extending his lead at the top. There's a Cunning Wish, so he actually can get the pieces. Here we go, Show and Tell. Dylan is not going to let that resolve, but it will resolve. No, it won't. He can cast Flusterstorm on the original spell, so you can see the 3 storm triggers there. Just let that all resolve, and then he can Flusterstorm this Show and Tell. But he's not going to. 2 Emrakuls standing off. Oh, well, there we go. Emrakul doesn't have haste, so Dylan's going to take game 2 because his Emrakul's going to have an Annihilator 6. Yeah, he's just saying in chat this mirror is pretty dumb, I agree. I think if anything in the mirror, you'd think that Dylan was slightly favoured because of the Thoughtseize that he has, the black colours that he has access to. Both of these here, Lorenzo took Modern 2-1, Dylan took Standard 2-1, and then locked at 1-1 now. So whoever wins this is going to take out the match 2-1. If it's Lorenzo, I think Dylan cannot win. No, I cannot win the league. Cannot win the division, sorry. He's going to be able to shuffle a few things away here. Or was that as he played his land? Yeah, Preordain can get rid of them anyway. 2 Omniscience. 1 is nice, 2 is not. You can see Beseju there. It's not as good in this match. So he's going to try for the Thoughtseize again. We'll see what's going on the other side. Well, I think you can get rid of... He got rid of Sneak Attack. What's he going for with Cunning Wish? You can see he could have used Red Elemental Blast there if he wanted to, Lorenzo, but he chose not to. There's a second Intuition. And there's finally the land he's been looking for, but he lost his Sneak Attack. What's he going to play with Intuition? He knows about the Emrakul on the other side. Goes for show and tells. Here we go. So 2 Emrakuls. How does this work? Oh, okay. Is the haste a cast trigger? I'm really confused about this. Don't know what he's blasting there. Oh, he's going after Omniscience. Okay. Dylan is doing I don't know what. I think he's about to concede. Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but Dylan actually takes down the Legacy 2 games to 1.